So for us, no, there is no. While we are praying, while we are visiting, while we are supplicating there, just parallel to us, there are angels who are doing it, there are other people from Barzakh probably doing
it. Sheikh, I don't know whether you've covered this before or not. I've read in a tradition that within the graves of our Imam, their bodies are not interred there. They remain there for 3 days, and Allah then raised their bodies as well. So what is the tradition then?
It's not very authentic. Even if that is the case, they are just like what we have in with the soul of the mu'min, that as soon as the mu'min dies, Allah raises his soul to Arsh and would have a sort of initial greeting. The angels of Arsh would greet him, and then he's returned back to his place in Barzakh. So it may be something like that, but I'm not sure. Yes.
Can you please tell me why is Arba'in more important than Haram or Al-Rum? Is it? Can you tell me the difference between Arba'in and Haram?
Arba'in has become a custom for visiting Imam alayhi salam. Just after the visit of Jabir ibn Abdullah, because in traditions we have that when Jabir ibn Abdullah came and visited, it was an Arba'in. So because he, the companion of the Prophet, he visited Imam Hussain on Arba'in, then this became a custom. And it may have been a custom there to honor Arba'in in Arabia at that time, or especially in Iraq at that time. But then, as I said, it has become a custom. Otherwise, for example, visiting Imam Hussain on 15th of Sha'ban may have even more merits. Visiting Imam Hussain on the day of Ashura, day of Arafah. But this has become a custom after the visit of Jabir ibn Abdullah and so on. Yes.
You were saying the Wadi al-Salam will be parallel to the Wadi al-Salam in Barzakh.
Maybe. I said maybe.
Okay. Is there a special dua we can recite for our marhumin?
For our marhumin, of course, whatever we usually do, I mean, Fatiha and such things. And if any of one of our marhumin are buried there, of course, we go and visit the grave. But otherwise, the ordinary du'as. You mean our marhumin who are in Wadi al-Salam now, in parallel worlds? No, that's just ordinary thing. Yes.
I have a question slightly different to what has been asked. When we go to such places, we often see the culture of where we are, and it's obviously a huge culture shock to the lives we live here. One of those things that is the beggars, and you get child beggars and beggars everywhere you go in Najaf and Karbala, and it's almost now, such as the travel and the tourism of these places, that beggars now live and thrive off the tourists. And obviously it's good to give. What is the situation, what is the Islamic point of view on giving? Even if there is, for whatever reason, a slight suspicion that we don't want to give. What is the Islamic teachings on giving?
You see, in Islamic teachings we have two issues. One is sa'il and the other is mahroom. وَفِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. Mahroom is someone who's deprived, is really poor. Sa'il is someone who asks. He actually is bringing his grace to you, bringing his honor down before you, asking you something. And we are told that both of them, Sa'il may not be poor, but he may ask you. Both of them you honor, so give them something. And with regards to these beggars, which were not, of course, as many as they are now in old days, Imam alayhi salam was asked the same question, that what is our duty towards them? And Imam said, give them a little thing, because we don't know whether they need it or not. Just because they ask, it's good to give them just a tiny amount of money or food or whatever. However, rationally speaking, if this is going to support a culture of begging, then we have to gauge those recommendations against the idea that we should not support this culture, especially in, of course, places of visitation and such things. Certainly these poor people come there because they know that people at this time, they have lots of hajat to Allah, so they are quite prone to give to others so that their hajat are fulfilled as well. They take advantage of that. And this is not only in Islamic society, I mean in Christianity as well, where people go to visit, you will find all these poor beggars asking for money and other things. I think we have to somehow balance it ourselves, whether this is reinforcing that culture or, I mean, these people have come here with some hope. We go there with some hope, they have come there with some hope as well. So what should we do is, I think, up to the judgment of each person in each case. Not very helpful answers. So. Yes.
The art of Karbala is known as Haq al-Shifa. We know that battle took place in Karbala and a lot of enemies were also killed and their blood was spilled there, but their bodies also interred in Karbala. What is the opinion of them, that earth becoming Haq al-Shifa, or is it a particular part of high?
You know, it's just like Harun being buried beside Imam al-Raza alayhi salam, isn't it? I mean, those things are forgotten. The soldiers buried there, the blood spilled there, Harun being buried beside Imam Reza. Even many of us don't know that Imam Reza was buried there because Harun al-Rashid, the caliph, was buried there. Now no one remembers the caliph. Everyone visits Imam Reza alayhi salam. Those things are gone. And فَأَمَّا الْبَاطِلُ فَأَمَّا الزَّلَدُ فَيَذْهَبُ دِفَاعًا وَأَمَّا مَا يَنْفَعُ النَّاسِ فَيَمْكُتُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. As we have, Allah gives the example of haq and batil. He says, but batil is like the surf on the water, and it goes away. The haq remains, which is water. And now haq, which is the blessing of Imam Hussain, has stayed there. All those things are forgotten and gone. And of course, when we say shafa, it's based on lots of conditions, circumstances, and all those things. And it's not, of course, the whole area of Karbala, certain area on the shrine, in the shrine which has that specific quality. And as I said, that also it depends on lots of other conditionals which we are not aware of. Yes.
Can you tell us something about the walk from Najaf to Karbala?
About what, sorry?
The walk, people walk from Najaf.
The walk. Well, I think Abbas should tell us about that, because we have the traditions that every step you take for the ziyarah of Imam Hussain alayhi salam will be rewarded. Just like we have in hadith that every step you take toward masjid will be rewarded. And some people in the past said that we take smaller steps, shorter steps, so that we have more steps towards masjid to get more rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In ziyarah of Karbala as well, we have this hadith that every step you take will have thawab for itself. And therefore people, both just for honoring, because when you go on foot, you are honoring the person you are visiting. So some people, for honoring Imam Hussain and also for the thawab of those steps, used to walk long ways. And because traditionally our ulama were based in Najaf, on Arba'in and Ashura as well, they used to walk from Najaf to Karbala. And so anyone who wants to gain that thawab, they can do it, of course, provided you do not strain yourself, you do not burden yourself about, and the thawab, inshallah, will come.
I've read in the hadith
told to do tawaf around
Yeah.
around the grave. Could you enlighten me on why that's important?
The tawaf, actually we do it on all shrines. It's just going from the head side to the foot side, visiting all sides of the shrine. It looks like a tawaf, of course. However, nowadays, of course, it's impossible. Many of these things mentioned in tradition, now sit there and say that, now go there and say this, it's impossible to do. For two reasons. One, because now the ladies and men are segregated, and then you cannot move freely around the shrine. And secondly, because of the crowd, you cannot do it. The best thing now to do is just to stand somewhere in respect, where you can stand calmly, and with a present heart, start your ziyarah. I think that's the best thing than thinking now where I have to go, what place I have to stand, what I have to say where, because that's not impossible. Yes?
Is there much difference when you're reciting a dua, whether you recite it perhaps in English because you understand what you're saying, or you recite it in Arabic?
If you recite something in Arabic and you don't understand it, there is not much merit in it. However, we know that many things are not translatable. They cannot convey, they do not render themselves to translation. So if we say in Arabic, much better. If we cannot, and if we say in Arabic we don't understand anything at all, so it's better to say it in English. Yeah. Yes.
In like you said, in Masjid al-Kufa and Masjid al-Sahla, where there's maqams of like where Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam prayed, or where different Imam prayed. Is this what we know from history, where it was their regular place of prayer, or is it like, why would one Imam not have prayed exactly where his grandfather prayed, for example? Why a few steps, or a few meters apart? Like, is it something that we just have from history, that someone allocated maqams to them, or is it?
No, I mean, when they went there, they prayed here, for example. When they stayed there, either for i'tikaf or something like that, maybe there was no room in other places, they stayed there. So historically, these are known. These are known historically, that this is where, for example, Imam Sajjad sat and made his dua or his i'tikaf. This is where Imam Zainul Abidin sat. And there was no point, of course, for them going and sitting in the same place. They were themselves the sources of blessing. Yes? Yes?
Wajib Salah, is it under the tomb or around the shrine is Wajib Salah? Is it a choice of the custom or
if you want to make sure, 10 meters from each side from the shrine, we regard as high. Some people mention more, but just to be cautious, 10 meters from the shrine from every side. Okay? Inshallah, have a safe journey, all of us, and we'll meet there, inshallah. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.